October 26, 2025. Routine maneuvers, calm seas, then sudden chaos. Two U.S. Navy aircraft from the USS Nimitz crash into the South China Sea just 30 minutes apart. 5 crew members risk everything as rescue teams scramble against the clock. China seizes the moment, calling American presence reckless. Was this just terrible luck or something far more explosive? At 2:45 p.m. local time, the calm routine of carrier operations aboard the USS Nimitz broke without warning. An MH-60R Seahawk helicopter from the battle cats of HSM-73 went down during a standard training evolution over the South China Sea. 3 crew members were aboard. The incident triggered an immediate emergency response from the carrier strike group, with search and rescue teams mobilizing even as the situation was still unfolding. Just 30 minutes later, at 3:15 p.m., a second emergency call came in. An FA-18F Super Hornet from the Fighting Redcocks of VFA-22 crashed while conducting carrier flight operations. Both aviators, pilot and weapons systems officer, managed to eject safely. The rapid succession of these 2 mishaps sent shockwaves through the air wing and command center. Both aircraft types, rotary and fixed wing, had been operating in the same contested waters under the same operational tempo. The Seahawk, built for anti-submarine and search and rescue missions, and the Super Hornet, a 2-seat strike fighter, represent the backbone of the carrier's air wing. 5 crew in total now depended on the speed and coordination of the rescue teams. With 2 crash sites and limited daylight, every available SAR asset was stretched thin. The flight deck and control centers faced a rare high-stress test. 2 major aviation losses, 30 minutes apart, with the full complexity of carrier operations in one of the world's most contested maritime regions. Search and rescue doctrine aboard a carrier strike group is designed for moments like this: rare, chaotic, and unforgiving. Within seconds of the first crash, the USS Nimitz launched its dedicated MH-60 SSAR helicopter, callsign Angel, with rescue swimmers and medical personnel on board. Rigid hull inflatable boats, or RHIBs, hit the water from the starboard side, racing toward the last known position of the Seahawk. On the horizon, the guided missile cruiser USS Princeton adjusted course, ready to provide radar support and additional eyes on the search grid. The second crash, just 30 minutes later, forced the strike group to split resources. Another SAR helicopter lifted off, this time vectoring toward the Super Hornet's ejection coordinates. Flight controllers coordinated simultaneous search patterns using radar, infrared sensors, and radio beacons from the crew's survival gear. Rescue swimmers dropped into choppy seas, fighting daylight and current to reach the downed aviators. In less than half an hour, all 5 crew members were pulled from the water, 3 from the Seahawk, 2 from the Super Hornet. Immediate triage began on the flight deck, with medical teams checking for hypothermia and trauma. Training turned crisis into survival. Every asset, every second, every decision mattered. The result: 5 lives saved, 0 fatalities. When something like this happens at sea, every second counts. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. Red deck. 1 call from the air boss, and the entire flight deck froze. No launches, no recoveries. Every moving part of the carrier's air wing halted in an instant. On the bridge, the air officer and CATCC chiefs worked in parallel, their voices crisp over internal circuits. Controllers rerouted inbound aircraft to holding patterns, while deck crews cleared all non-essential personnel and began logging every action for the investigation to come. Every logbook, every digital entry, preserved on the spot. Witnesses to both crashes were separated as soon as the survivors were brought aboard, a standard measure to keep recollections clear for the safety board. Simultaneous rescue operations demanded absolute clarity. CATCC vectored 1 search and rescue helicopter and 2 RHIBs toward the Seahawk's last beacon, while a second search and rescue helo was spun up for the Super Hornet crew still drifting to the east. Deck status stayed red, with crash and salvage teams ready for any emergency returns. The command team's discipline was visible in the silence between orders. No confusion, no wasted motion. With both rescue cycles underway, the focus shifted to evidence preservation. Flight data, maintenance logs, and radio tapes were locked down for technical review. Even as medics triaged the rescued aircrew, the procedural ballet on deck and in the tower proved why carrier operations demand such relentless precision. Lab chemists and maintenance officers converged on the flight deck within hours, each armed with a checklist and a mandate: find the cause, leave nothing to chance. Every drop of JP-5 fuel was traced from delivery to nozzle. Aviation fuels quality assurance teams pulled samples from shipboard tanks, fueling lines, and the crashed aircraft, logging each transfer with strict chain of custody forms. Onboard tests for water, particulates, and flashpoint showed nothing out of the ordinary. Vials were shipped off for gas chromatography mass spectrometry analysis, searching for hidden contaminants or chemical outliers. Early reports from the lab found no sign of gross contamination, but the spectrometer kept running. Trace anomalies couldn't be ruled out. Meanwhile, maintenance inspectors cracked open the aircraft records. The MH-60R's logs confirmed a recent hydraulic actuator replacement, but no deferred discrepancies. The FA-18F's books listed minor avionics issues in prior sorties, yet nothing pointing to catastrophic failure. Every filter, every replaced component, every anomaly was cross-checked against the timeline. The process was exhaustive. Fuel, hardware, human error, nothing off the table. As public debate circled around the bad fuel theory, the Navy's technical teams pressed on, knowing the answer might be buried in a margin note or a microscopic trace. The investigation pressed forward, thorough but unresolved, with every possibility still under the microscope. On October 26, 2025, two U.S. Navy aircraft from the USS Nimitz crashed in the South China Sea within just 30 minutes of each other. All 5 crew members were rescued, a direct result of rapid search and rescue execution by the Carrier Strike Group. Lab analysis found no gross contamination in the JP-5 fuel, despite public speculation about bad fuel. Maintenance records revealed recent repairs and anomalies, but no single cause has been officially confirmed or released. To date, the Navy has not published full incident or maintenance reports for either aircraft, and key findings remain classified. China immediately used the crashes to challenge U.S. presence in the disputed region, amplifying tensions at a critical geopolitical moment. What is clear? The professionalism of Navy crews saved lives, and the true origins of both crashes remain unresolved in the public record. In contested waters, every action, accident, or response carries strategic weight.